I'm Alex, the kitchen rapper. This is episode 3 from Scheme to Boss. This episode is sponsored by AL Scrubs. With these days, he's a specialist in deep cleans.
It's a good promo, innit?
Aye, his company. So, James's Ways again. You want to introduce our guest?
Today we're joined with Ravie Davie, the Fresh Prince of Drummoyne Square. Ravie, the podcast is called From Scheme to Boss. Where you fae and what'd you do?
What's happening, troops? My name is Ravie Davie, the Fresh Prince of Drummoyne Square. I am from a small shipbuilding village in the outskirts of Glasgow called Govan. And what I do is I am a professional wrestler / wrestling promoter / social media superstar / all-round some boy.
Every time he says slash, I'm looking at his pockets. You got to pull something out here.
No, I don't take liberties.
Liberties. Mate, I've been watching your socials for ages, man. So I feel like I know you. Know what I mean? It's like all the videos you're doing, I've not seen anybody take to it the way you've took to it. So has that helped your business? Like, because obviously you've got your promotions and you've got your wrestling school. Do you think that's what's bringing everybody in?
Definitely. So what you've said is you've obviously been watching me for quite a while. So before TikTok was a thing, I was actually quite big on Facebook as well. Not quite big on it, but I'd done a lot of videos that had got lots of views back when I started wrestling. One of the reasons I done my funny videos is because wrestling's kind of a niche market. Not everybody likes wrestling. If they do like it, they'll not tell people they like it. Know what I mean? They'll definitely not go to a show in like Scotland. They'll just watch like the WWE and their house, that kind of thing. So what I try to do is I try to make funny videos so people would want to come and see Ravie Davie, because if they might not like wrestling, but if they want to see me and I'm like a comedian, I don't do comedy shows or anything like that. The only way you can come see me is if you come and see me in wrestling. I don't do like personal meet and greets or anything like that. It's just all I do is my wrestling shows. Then you'd have to pay to a wrestling show to come and see me. I'll come out and meet you at half time or at the end of the show, but you'd need to come and watch the wrestling to see me. That was my thinking, because at the end of the day, not everybody likes wrestling, but everybody likes comedy. So if I can get them in the door with comedy, that'll work. And plus, see, if you don't like comedy, I probably don't want you to come to my show anyway, you know what I mean? Let's be honest. But so that was back on Facebook. But see, when I had a big following on Facebook, I don't feel like I knew how to monetize it. I mean, I knew how, maybe I was monetizing it kinda, but because I wasn't the owner of the wrestling company, or the company that I'm getting people to come into, I was selling a couple of t-shirts and stuff like that, doing all right merchandise, but it wasn't, I could now make a full-time living at it. Obviously I was quite young then as well, I was only like 21, but so I'd always been good with the social media side of stuff, but as I said, I've never been able to make money. But then when I done TikTok, one of the reasons I actually done TikTok as well was because I just, since the day TikTok came out, and I just knew there was something in it was going to be big. I just could tell. So I downloaded it, but I was always watching it and I was studying it, and I was just sitting back and I was waiting. At first it was all the dancing and stuff like that, but I knew it wasn't always going to be that. No, I mean, I had a sense. And then eventually I started seeing like people making like skits. Obviously TikTok is quite good for like a lot of people making their own characters and stuff like that. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to post some of my old stuff for Facebook, like the whole I'm on the night shift or the Harry Potter video when I'm running into a wall and stuff like that. I'm going to post the videos, but and see how they do. And I posted the whole I'm on the night shift video and it got like 250,000 views.
That's
so I was like, right,
compared to Facebook, because you see that, you
well,
don't
no,
really
to be fair, on Facebook, that whole I'm on the night shift video's probably been viewed over 20 million times.
TikTok pushes it out there to a wider audience, but man,
aye, definitely.
Facebook want you to put, like, if Facebook, it's basically a case of you want us to push it out there, you need to pay for it.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that as much, but I would say they're all in competition with each other, so they'll be you need to be on the ball as well. So like, I see with Facebook, I had a resurgence on Facebook because I noticed they started making the reels, and I was like, I bet you any money if you put reels out, I bet you they will do well, because they're trying to get people onto because their reels are obviously their equivalent to TikTok, and they did. I've had so many, like, I had more views on Facebook with reels than I ever had before with anything else. Know what I mean? Just I knew how to get like over 1 million views on each video. Know what I mean? Just because I could just last it. I know what I mean. I watched one that I was sitting watching your TikToks the other day. I've seen them, but I was like, I'll just refresh my memory. And I seen one that's you and that 5-0 guy going into that best kebab, and you've got the wig on and all that. Aye, that was my set.
After it, you run in, you're going, it was me.
It was me. Well, you were saying you're a big wrestling fan.
That was awesome. wrestling, but
it was the old Vince McMahon. It was me,
I was like, I got that reference straight away, but how many people watched that and didn't even get that
especially,
reference?
well, obviously, a lot of my fan base is a lot of the younger generation stuff. We actually see, because when I started doing I was doing, obviously, like, try to branch out. I done Twitch and stuff like that. Didn't really go the best, but I had one wee guy when I was doing the Twitch come up and saying to me, Davey, I've been watching you for like 8 years. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm a big fan. I was like, aye, right, when I actually think about it, if you've been watching me since I was on TikTok, not since I was on the Facebook when I first started it, probably has been watching me for that amount of time. It's just, that's mental. There's like we guys that will be like grew up with me in their life, not I mean, just making all these stupid videos. It's mental, not I mean.
You said earlier, if people like wrestling, they won't tell you. So see, like when you were younger, jumping about the boys and all that, because I know you did your wrestling class very young. Did you ever get slagged off the boys, like, what you doing? Like,
not really, no. But
I know I would have if I said to the boys, I'm not coming out the weekend, I've got a wrestling class, know what I mean?
No, but like, so, technically I did get pelters, but it wasn't. But when do you mean like when I was
just when you were younger, you were into wrestling? Did you know start wrestling class like you were 22 or something?
21.
Like that?
Well, no, I was even
21.
I was telling all my pals before a year before, I'm gonna like, my nana was dying, right? And that was basically I was trying to think of something that would make my nana proud. You know what I mean? That was like when basically. Okay, I'll go, if you want to ask me about my man and all that stuff I can, but that's basically I got into wrestling because my mum died, right? And my nana spent all her money because she seen I liked wrestling. That was the thing that kept me off like being sad with my mum. So my nana spent all her money into wrestling. So see, when I was dying, I was like, what can I do to make her proud? I was like, I can make all the wrestling money, all the money she spent on wrestling, I can actually make it worthwhile. So I went and I was telling people, but obviously I actually went to wrestling school when my nana was nowhere with cancer, and then I came out of the wrestling school and my phone had been turned off, and I answered it and there was like 60 missed calls, right? So I had obviously panicked, like my nana's dead, oh no. It wasn't even just about he's looking for me. Obviously people were worried about me, not, and I've had like bad problems with mental health. Not people maybe thinking maybe I went away and fucking done myself in. Obviously I just wanted to go and try wrestling, you know what I mean? And I'd enjoyed it, but obviously I went home and I felt guilty, so I was like, I can't do that again. So basically once, obviously it was sounded, I wasn't saying it to people, but once my nana, basically in my mind, once my nana passed away, I was going to go and try and become a wrestler. I wanted to make her proud, but I couldn't do it now because I'd felt too guilty if something happened to her while I was doing it. I mean, because obviously it's something like wrestling, you didn't need to be committed to it, no? I mean, I couldn't be committed if I'm running up and down to hospitals, and obviously I was like staying with my nana a lot, and I was like sitting in the hospice and that way and stuff like that as well, so I could never fully get myself into it, but then once I did, it was just because I wanted to make my nana proud.
How did you get into your first show?
My very first show, so as I was saying, so when I was, so obviously when my nana was dying, I was telling everybody, just to finish this question, I was telling everybody that I'm going to be a wrestler, but my pals all, like you were saying about earlier in the morning, because James picked me up, he picked me up, not
Crack service.
It was a good service, not I mean, no many podcasts I've done have picked me up from my front door, so 10 out of 10 boys, I'll give you that, but he was actually saying to me, when he picked us up, he was saying to us how, what was it again? I've got ADHD, boys, I do this all the time, man.
Back to the boy I work with, David, man, he's the same, man.
I've got ADHD, so I just click because I went.
There's a couple of things I asked you in the motor. How did you get into wrestling? Did you get slagged? And obviously I spoke about your wee ma passing young. Did that affect you? Is that what you were going with that there?
No.
How did you get into your first show?
I'll go to that then, that's where I can go, right? So I got into the first show, so when I was wrestling, I went to a place called the Glasgow, so that is actually, I can tie it all up anyway. So basically my nana passed away, she'd left me 250 quid, right? And I went and put it towards a wrestling school. The GPWA, they'd basically opened up and my nana passed away, so I felt it was all perfect timing that. And then I started going there. I was training for 6 months, and they obviously had a show in their place, and I said to them, I can sell this many tickets, I'm ready for it. I was training, like I didn't miss a training session for like 6 months, I was just so committed. The only reason I did miss it is because, I don't know if you've seen the Amsterdam video that I done, but I woke up in Amsterdam, I ended up getting a free trip to Amsterdam because of that. And it was on a day that I had a training session, so I was like,
woke up in Amsterdam.
We've got to pick, but no, I mean, one training session or a wee 2-day trip to Amsterdam, bought and paid for, I mean, obviously I'm going to do the Amsterdam trip, so obviously that was the only reason I missed it. But so obviously I'd worked so hard, I just put all my heart and soul into it. I'd actually, at one point I nearly felt like my missus, because she was in the hospital at the time because something had happened to her, and instead of me going up and seeing her, I was got like wrestling training that, because I was just like eyes laser down, he'd done focus, not that I wanted to do this. And then I went in my first match, and it was a battle royal I was in, so it was like just me and it's like a Royal Rumble, but no the Royal Rumble, because it's no everybody coming, you're just drawing the ring, and I'd won it, know what I mean? But I was actually a bit raging. I was like, I should have been in a match. I've been in here the last 6 months every single day, no missed a session. No, I should be. But that's obviously just like, if you've not got an ego in like something like even
you want a headline.
I know, I mean, if you've not got an ego, but you shouldn't be doing something like, well, no, shouldn't be doing it, but like, I want to get to the top button. know what I mean? You're not
That's
going
the way you're gonna get
to
to
make
the
to the
top.
tap if you've not got an ego, know what I mean? If you don't believe in yourself, nobody's got to believe in you.
See, from a business point of view, obviously, like, see all the wrestlers that are doing it, he's all self-employed, or do they work for, because I know there's IC Dub and that.
We're not, so wrestling in Scotland, we're all independent contractors, but you wouldn't think that, know what I mean? It's all cliquey, you know, and like, I'll not work there if, know what I mean?
Because for me, looking at it, man, I just assumed that everybody worked for them and they just basically paid them a salary for it. But then you start to see them all cross promotion, and you start to see like people coming off of America and them booking them in and all that kind of stuff. And it's like these guys must just be self-employed, technically have their own businesses in.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just most wrestlers in Scotland have full-time jobs as well. I mean, it is quite hard to make a full-time living at it, because you need to, I think, if you want to make it, you need to be wrestling every single weekend and selling hundreds of merch.
Is that how you started in the wrestling school?
No, I started in the company, and the company was doing well, and then because of the wrestling company, people started asking me.
So that's your company, is it
CPW Community Pro Wrestling is me and my partner George's company. The two of us own
I've gave IC Dub a shout out before his.
No, sorry, mate. I don't mind about that. Actually, I'm actually seeing a little kid. No, but Community Pro Wrestling is my wrestling company. Me and my missus started it, was our company, you know what I mean? Two of us run that. And we were selling it all our shows. Well, actually, we went 11 in a row there. We selling it shows. Our first 11 shows we've ran.
That's class.
We sold them all out. So we done Govan in October, then we done Govan in February, then May, Govan again, then we done Govan in July. That was our first 4 shows in this first space of a year. Then we done Drum Chapel in September, and that was our first time venturing out the Goodyear Club. We sold that out. Then we went back to Govan again. That was a show we had Grade on, so we sold that one. So our first 6 shows we'd sold, we'd done very well and stuff.
Do you and your missus just like phone all these places and just basically arrange a tour kind of thing?
No. So I deal with all the like, booking venues and booking the wrestlers and stuff like that, and she'll deal with like, the tickets at the door and the merchandise.
How do you find the venues?
Well, we found the Fairfield Club because Georgia's uncle actually was the head of the committee, so we got a good deal on that and stuff, and obviously it's beneficial for both of us, obviously both parties, and then as well because the reason that, so basically there was another company that ran it before lockdown happened, and then that company couldn't come back and run it, so basically my partner George's uncle was saying that they wanted me to run it, but I didn't have any experience, so I was saying, I could put you in touch with this person, and they're like, well, we don't want it. Why would we want that? Well, you could run it, David. Why not just you? I was like, well, I could, but wrestling here's a bit. I mean, if I did that, there's a good chance other people won't be happy with it. So at first I didn't really want it. So I kind of.
So it's like they feel like they've got the market on wrestling events, and then if you do that, you're not going to get invited onto theirs.
And that's so I was worried. That's why I had that worry and stuff like that. And obviously I was.
You don't want to burn your bridges, but
then,
you want to promote
I wanted
yourself.
wrestling to be governed. I've always wanted to run shows and stuff like that. So just they said to us, just do it. Know what I mean? What's the worst that can happen? And then see if it's successful. We've done the first show.
Then you don't need to go on the show.
We sold it straight away, you know what I mean? Well, not straight away, but we sold it like 4 weeks in advance, you know what I mean? Which was mental. That was obviously all thanks to TikTok and that as well.
Gives you a bit of breathing room as well, innit? You can concentrate on the lead up to the show rather than trying to
exactly, you know what I mean? Because we actually, so that's what I'm saying, our streak ended there on our show we done on Sunday in Johnston. We still sold over 100 tickets, know what I mean? Still, it was just a profitable show, man. But see, when you've sold 11 shows in a row, know what I mean?
You feel like they're just going to get bigger and bigger.
I feel like a failure, even though I didn't, know what I mean? Even though it was profit.
So for the want to try and with you, seen your videos and you were walking down Shittleson Road, man. It's like doing your flyer drops and all that
skills and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's just obviously so getting new to it was obviously I'm still young, I'm still new to this kind of stuff. So I've not realised so I sold the last show in Johnson. I'm like, I want to go straight back. Let's book it when you get a free date in April. And he's like, 23rd's the free date we've got. So I was like, book us in for that. But I've not realised what's the 23rd of April. That's 2 weeks after the Easter holiday. You know what I mean? All the families are going to have either been on holidays or paid to get their weightings watched for 2 weeks away. All the clubs not. So by the time they've not got the money to spend,
so you learn for that. You learn for your mistakes.
I know because we done one up in Peterhead, but the start of April and
Aberdeen.
That's what I'm saying. But it's so out me, that's what I'm saying.
Just shows you how much reach you've got, man.
I did go up and fly on that, to be fair.
Leaflet drops up.
Peterhead, mate. I mean, a boy just went up before me and the Wanderer, Mikey. So he's actually a boy that I've helped. He started his own wrestling company and I've helped him.
You're helping each other.
I'm helping him promote his company. That's what obviously at the end of the day, that's what I was saying to him. the motor, I was saying wrestling's a niche product. All the other wrestling companies for some reason want to fight with each other, right? And I think that's we're all in each other's feet, but we're no. Our competitors are the picture, the cinema, the circus, like actual family days out there. They're cheap.
You can't have too many shows, man. Look at Raw.
But even I could get
Raw and SmackDown are on every week.
But even at that, but like we're wrestling being niche. Not you're competing against just like a normal day at the park that costs nothing. No, I mean that's who we're competing against. We're not competing. We should all be banding together and putting on good, making sure our wrestling shows that we put on are good, so that
people want to come back.
You know what I mean? Make sure
cross promotion's good as well, man. People love a bit of hang with it.
I would like to do that stuff, but as I said, people are like, you know what I mean? Like it's competition at the end of the day and on it. Like if someday.
Remember when WCW, man, came into WWF? That was class, man. They were all fighting against each other. You were picking a side and everything. You were getting right into it, man.
Wasn't really picking a side, you know what I mean? Obviously, I mean.
I was picking a side, man.
I was WWE, obviously,
coming down and doing every cunt, you know what I mean?
What was life like early days, growing up in Govan? So you're doing well now, you've got your business and all that, but it wasn't all easy, was it? So what was it like starting
So growing up in Govan, didn't have a dad. My dad walked out to me before I was born. Him and my mum used to fight all the time or whatever, right? So he walked out before I was even born, and then just jumping from house to house. Basically, my mum used to pay a deposit in a house, you know what I mean? Then we'd stay there for 6 months, and then when the rent was due, she would just fuck off somewhere else, you know what I mean? She would, it's on the podcast, by the way.
Swear away, mate, swear away.
To be fair, I shouldn't, you know what I mean? Grado gave me into trouble for swearing on social media not last night.
He's got a cheek.
No, but he's obviously, that's how he got, obviously, because I'm trying to get myself more mainstream, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. If you want to get mainstream into it, and
need to watch your language.
I've had people messing me chinning for swearing on this. It's my fucking podcast.
Say the name, no shit.
No, fair, but obviously, so without what ask me, I always go after.
So we're starting from the start. So growing
up in Govan, obviously moving from house to house, I was in like basically all the Lint house, moving through there. I went up to Pollock for a bit, was at Priest Hall for a wee bit, then back to Govan Lint house, and then when I was 6 years old, my mum committed suicide. She lost her battle with depression, and I came home and my mum wasn't there anymore. But I thought it was just a sick joke. No, I mean, I just thought like.
So you can remember it even though you were only 6.
I can remember it vividly. I can remember every single thing about it. I came out of school. My sister was standing there. My sister's not picked me up for school in my life, and she took me home. Went to my uncle's house. First time I'd ever tried KFC. Had a big KFC bucket for me. I ate that. Then I went round to the house. Everybody was in my nana's house. Everybody's crying. Asked what had happened. Everybody said we'd got told off my nana. My mum had died. Obviously, I started laughing. Like, what do you mean? Like, obviously, mum's no died. Not I mean, that's no.
So you were laughing. So I've seen your TikTok. Is that kind of to protect you in a way? Because I've seen people say stuff in TikTok that might not know your story. Like say that, for instance, your mom, and you laugh about it.
Well, if you do, I'd rather you don't laugh. You're great. No, I mean sometimes.
So it is. So
also as well, my mum like no. I'm 29 years old. My mum died when I was 6 years old. Like, I can't greet forever. No, I mean I can't sit and.
So it did affect you. It has affected you.
It fucked me right up, mate. To be honest,
it's a good.
It's a 6-year-old boy. Look, I mean everybody else, growing up had a mom and dad, had at least had a mom or had a dad. I mean I was getting and I blamed my nana for it and all. I mean poor woman, man. Honestly, that's the thing that breaks my heart. Man, then if I could go back and change it,
we've all been daft when you're younger. When you're older, you realise what your nanas did for you and things like that.
My nana get the blame for all. I mean, like I'd always call her all the names under the sun. Not growing up being badly behaved, not just getting kicked out of school, get weekends in Heron Street, all these kind of things, just because. So in children's homes and all that, for like just to take me away from her for a couple of weeks, just to give her a bit of respite, all these kind of things. And she did, but that would hurt her even more, not I mean, because she'd feel like a failure. That would be even worse for her, not I mean, these kind of things. So I would, if I could do it, and that's why I would go back and change my nana's life, because that was the worst thing I'd ever do. But then just growing up, obviously, because I'd lost my ma, and I blamed my nana for everything. I felt so unwanted. Not my mum would commit. My mum would get in, but at this stage, I know I'd found out my mum had killed herself. So it's like, to me, she had two ways. Know what I mean? So at the time, I thought she was selfish. Obviously, I didn't understand mental health. No, I've got my own mental health problems now and stuff like that. But I'm talking about then, I didn't really get it. So I thought she was selfish. I thought what she done was terrible. She should. What people say when you kill yourself, you don't.
That's what people say. They're selfish, but when that's ones that don't understand it.
I know. So when I was younger, but I had the mindset. Well, if you commit suicide, you don't have any to live for. My mum had two things to live for. She had me and my big sister. So that used to obviously always play in my mind and stuff like that as well. But obviously now I get it that or she obviously felt that bad that she felt like shit today. And then I feel like it's my mum had addiction problems, like, so maybe she done it because she felt like my nana could have gave me and my sister a better life and stuff like that as well. These things that you don't think when you're growing up, you just think it's my nana's fault, not me, and I blame her for it. So because I blame my nana for it, I felt like I was unwanted. So I kinda, like, I've also got ADHD, and also I always date. I'm an attention seeker at heart anyway, but I felt that there was a bigger part, like, there was a bigger piece of me missing. So then I started thinking about, like, in the schemes, the young teams, not, I mean, I went and jabbed out with all my mates who had kind of same backgrounds as me. Either they'd lost one of their mums, or both of them, their mas and dads had split up at the very least, not, I mean, but most of them is a one parent household. We would all kick about getting out of trouble, vandal, like graffitiing places,
gang fighting,
all these kind of things. And like, so it sounds, this probably has got to sound mental, but see, when I'm between 12 to 16, I'm gang fighting, right? That was what replaced wrestling. So when I was at wrestling the Pishy Mastices and stuff like that when I was younger with my pals, right? I don't actually know if I mentioned the podcast, but I mentioned it before. When I was wrestling my pals in the back, then obviously I was too old to do that, know what I mean? So I didn't know. So I went and started gang fighting, know what I mean? So I was making a lot of drama, but I wasn't just like, some people would fling bricks and bolts. I would like run to the front and I would be like,
you turn that into a show.
So I'd be like, whoever was the best fighter in the other gang, I'd be like, me and you are there, square go, know what I mean? Let's do this, no, like try to make it like a big strap.
A lot of gang fighting today was one person chases that.
Wasn't like me, know what I mean? I was wanting to make it a show, know what I mean? I was trying to put on a show, so that was my thing. That was what replaced it, but obviously that got me into trouble and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Obviously obviously a lot of the boys that I grew up with, not, they're either in jail or they're like drug addiction, stuff like that, you know what I mean?
With me, mate. Mate, I was thinking about it the other day in my class. There was 3 boys I hung about with in class. 2 of them are in jail and 1 of them are dead.
Oh, it's heartbreaking, man.
It's like, that's how I was talking about last week. Like schools, they don't try and encourage you or anything like that. It's like, just, you're causing trouble, get out the door. So imagine when you were in school, were you having ADHD? Did they know you had that then, or did you get diagnosed?
I got diagnosed when I was very young, but because my mum had a mad dying wish that she didn't want me to take any medication for my ADHD, so like, because my nana and that wouldn't give me ADHD, my medication, they just basically thought, well, he's not helping himself, so it's that kind of way that
teachers think you're just being disruptive.
They knew this could be because I wouldn't help myself, but it's like, well, why should we try and help? No, I mean, why would
you need to help yourself? That's the first thing you need to do. You need to want something yourself.
I was about I could be going like, man, I can't be going into the door. It doesn't go like, I need this ADHD medication. No, I mean, it's up to my nana, but what the fuck I done it.
Was it she no want you taking it for?
Just because there was obviously I was like a wee bright. I obviously like ADHD medication turns you into a zombie, know what I mean? So my obviously loved me as who I was, know what I mean? If I was to take the medication, I'm wanting about zombie doing that, I wouldn't have been her wee boy, you know what I mean?
Like, don't change, don't want to change
wasn't
it.
Like a dying wish where she was obviously hanging for the fucking
Did you
rafters.
Did you take tablets?
No, never. My nana sometimes tried to get me, like, no actual ADHD medication, but she would like, try and placebo effect me, know what I mean? Like say, oh, these wee fish oil things will help you and stuff like that, but I never took medication. I just feel like I wouldn't be myself if I took medication. I'd be focused, and some of the my ADHD is one of the reasons I'm here.
That's what I was going to say. Being yourself is, you've got a so you were just saying you had a difficult start, and into a business point of view, but you're doing now, you're smashing it, know what I mean? Because you're being yourself, because maybe the ADHD's helped you, know what I mean? So your business, plus you give back to the local community, you know that as well.
David that I work with calls it his superpower.
I know, definitely. I don't know about superpower. Sort of pain in the arse, smell like, man.
We should have brung him down my team with a bounced after was each other. I loved that.
No, it's obviously, it does help me a lot of things, but it's also a pain and all, because obviously I'm constantly lost and stuff and all that. I'm always
that's him, man.
Being late for stuff and all that. That's what I just say to him, like, can you pick us up, mate? Because I'll end up being.
See the amount of things we're on Job's site and you go, what? You honed him something and he's got it in his horn. You turn around and go, he's that back, and it disappeared. And he's like, I don't know what I've done with it. And he spends more time looking for tools on the job than he does.
I can imagine, mate, honestly.
It's like, but he knows that things will take him a wee bit longer than what it takes me. But he'll just go, just leave me to it. Like, it's my own time. He's like, if it takes me a wee bit longer, then so be it. He's like, as long as the job's done to the same standard. He's like, if I spent 10 minutes looking for my scalpel, then so be it. I mean, that's just the way it is. Lovely it.
No, definitely. I totally agree.
How did you find, see in school? Obviously, my experience of schools weren't they great. And I always talk about how teachers could have done more to help us. Do you feel, was there any teachers that helped you, or was there any teachers that just wrote you off?
No, I don't really feel like any teachers were on my side when I was growing up in school.
Everybody's saying the same, man.
There was one, to be fair, one or two, obviously. There was my pupil support teacher, Nicola White. She always helped us. I've been still in contact with her. And my PE teacher, Mr. Reid, he was always quite good with us. I'm in contact with him and all as well. He was going to donate stuff to the wrestling school, which just none of it fit. None of it was
suitable.
Aye, so kind of things like that was like May's teacher. So I always remember when I was in first year. That's what that's what probably led me down to the gang fighting, to be fair. No, it sounds daft, but it was in my pastoral care school, a teacher's class or office or whatever, like that. It was like, so you need to start hanging about jobs, no, I'm into first year, we need to know what you want to be so we can work towards it with your subjects, no. So I said what I wanted to be was a professional wrestler, and they laughed at me and they said you need to be American and you need to take steroids to be a wrestler, and that's not something you could ever recommend, know what I mean?
Especially not nowadays, man.
No, I mean, exactly, especially nowadays, know what I mean? But obviously they said that to me, so I was a 12-year-old boy at the time, might even have been 11 because I started high school earlier because my birthday's in January, so I might even have been 11, I just get my full world get destroyed, not really until I can't be.
Because there was no class, see what you're doing now, there was nothing like that back in the day, was there?
So I thought obviously maybe, cause especially in all wrestling's all secrets and all as well, and so I thought maybe you just when you're 16 you go to find out how to be a wrestler and you start being one or something, but I told the teacher and they just laughed at me, and that broke my heart, man. I was distraught. So anytime anybody asked me what I wanted to be for the next 5 years, I would tell people I wanted to be a professional artist winner, know what I mean? Or
a professional artist.
Because like, I didn't actually have any, I didn't want to, like, nothing else was, I didn't want to be anything else, know what I mean? Like, I end up becoming a welding apprentice, not
because you've been in and out of different jobs over the years.
When I started wrestling, I just qualified to become a full-time welder, but doing the job, I was working for a cowboy company, we shout out Bob Engineering. But no, kid on, to be fair, they were actually brand new, you know what I mean, but they were cowboys, know what I mean?
You were the one doing the work.
No, I was the apprentice, I was carrying their heavy stuff for them, know what I mean?
As an employee, were you a nightmare?
Is that a case of, like, see when you're on the job, like, if they were asking you, what, no, your head's just no in it because you want to do it. You've got your goals, your head's no in it, and that's
there's one story my tradesmen always tell me, because I keep in contact with them. It was partly what my tradesmen and stuff like that. They were all brand new, just the guys that were actually ran the place that was they were brand new. They actually done a lot of stuff and they did actually, just because I didn't want to. Your
heart's no in it, man.
But there was one time, obviously guys up welding, he's like, Dave, pass me up, and I'm like, 2 seconds, mate, I paused my game, know what I mean? Getting a high score here, know what I mean? Just obviously playing away for it. But obviously, like, one of the ones, I was cheap labour, know what I mean? It was during that Commonwealth apprenticeship and thing, and they were a wee tiny company, and like, anytime they'd take me out of college to like, go to jobs that I wasn't going to be learning it, no, I'm just lifting stuff for people, and that. So it's like, I knew this, no, I knew that I was just there to be a cheap labourer, obviously a wee tiny company, so I wasn't, but after a while, my first year I was pure intense, caring about it and all, but then by second and third year I was like, what the fuck for you? Why should I care? And then once I got my paper, the only reason I stuck it out was because my nana fucking was so proud of it, no, I mean, my wee nana thought it was the greatest thing ever, man.
Your nana, did you ever get to see your journey in the wrestling?
No, man, that's
what
I'm saying, obviously, mate, so my nana died, obviously, when, because obviously I was, but it was her money I used to start the wrestling school, you know what I mean?
She knew you were going to start your journey, but she...
well, no, when she was in the hospital, but remember I told you the day about when she was in the hospital, no, and I was at the school and I went to try it for the first time, and I came in and I had all the missed calls. I got a picture of it, but I showed her, and she hadn't been responsive for weeks, and when I showed her the picture, she kind of opened her eyes up, looked at the phone and like, smiled, you know what I mean? I was just like, right, this is the thing I need to do, but it's just, I can't do it now, you know what I mean? That was the thing, but so... Where was I before that? With the welding company. So once I was hunters and near misses, I'm lifting all the head out, and I'll be honest, I know it's mad, right? I'm one of the clumsiest people ever, right? Somehow when I'm in a wrestling ring, I'm graceful as I can do all these back flips and front flips and all these cool moves, no. But see anywhere else, I've got 2 left feet, man, honestly, tripping up everywhere, no.
That's because your heart's no in it, but man, that's
probably. I'm talking about just walking down the street, mate. My heart's in that, not getting baby, not my heart's in that.
See when you go for a loaf and fun.
See when you're in that ring, mate, it's like all your concentration is on that at that moment, man. It's like, and that's where your heart is, that's what you're hungry, and that's why you're probably so good at it, you know what I mean? That's where your ADHD comes into play, man. It's like, it's like you obsess over that one task, and it's like that's how you will be so good at it, not I mean?
Well, that's fair, but so obviously, but in the Welding Cup, I was getting all these near misses. There was one time a guy was driving a forklift, not what it was, but he was driving a forklift. I'm holding this big half a ton beam, right? The forklift collapses. The guy like stands up, so he doesn't get hit with the forklift, he's standing, but the beam was like literally, it'll show you this, right? Say my Honda beam, it was right there, right in front of my toes. Not I mean, honestly, my toe. I wouldn't have any toes anymore. Not I mean, steel toe caps aren't saving that. These steel toe caps are cutting my toes off. Not I mean, but they'd have been gone. It was that day I was like, right, get my papers, and I'm out of here. Not I mean, because I just started the wrestling training, and then once I started the wrestling training, is because they just expected me to do overtime as well. I'm making the least money. Not I mean, so I should be doing overtime all the time. And they'd always expect me to do that. So when at first I would date sometimes when I'd want money for myself, but see when the wrestling came about, nah, no more overtime for me, boys. I need to go to wrestling training. Not I mean, like, what are you talking about? Not I mean, you're
laughing at you.
Not to be a welder. I was like, no, I'm a wrestler, mate.
Look at who's laughing now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's funny. Like, obviously, the boss's son Muir, he's always bigging me up because me and him going heavy well because I always used to go like him. He was 34 when I started, so I was only 16, and I'd be like, he'd always tell me about he's always like, getting mad and all the time. And I was like, God's sake, man, you ever got to grow up, Muir? And he's like, no, growing up's admitting defeat. No, I mean, I'm Peter Pan. I'm never grown up.
I bet everybody for like things that you've done in the past will love being able to say, Ravie Davie, all of a sudden knew all of a sudden knew everybody was your pal, know what I mean?
We'll see the amount of people now that if you actually feel bad, see the amount of veins on TikTok stuff like, do you know this person? He said they done this way or something like that. No, mate.
You get a lot of support, but you also get a lot of trolls. So last week he done me on the podcast. He brought out a bad review, so I want to bring out some. I've got a couple of things I want to ask you, right? And just tell me true or false. So you don't need to go into it too much.
You're going to ask me.
It's not even that bad, to be fair. Yours is mostly about business, but you get a lot of dafties, don't you?
Well, you get loads of trolls, don't you, man?
Because I obviously I give them the attention, but that's what they want. Man.
I bet that's good clickbait, man. It's like, I get more views on videos where I'm replying to people like that, but you just take it to the next level, man.
Somebody says to you, you can't do a kitchen. You says you can't do a kitchen for 600 quid. Somebody says, that's a lot of shite. A small kitchen can be easily done in a day and you can walk away with £400 profit. So, can you do a kitchen for 600 quid, aye or no?
Depends. It's no...
Aye or no?
The thing is, aye, you can, but if I was just like a self-employed guy who was just out there and I was only wanting to do, like say, a couple of jobs a week or one job a week and I didn't have any overheads, then aye. But...
Aye or no?
Fuck off.
The next comment was, somebody did say, we got ours done and it cost £600 and it was a mess. So that can answers
well,
your question.
It depends. There's too many different things. Like depends what materials you use. Depends the quality that you want to do. How long you're going to take on the job. You could go in and smash a kitchen out in a couple of hours, and you're just slapping the vinyl on. You've not cleaned it right. You've not prepped it right. It's not going to last. It's cheap, shitey vinyl, and then you're quite cheap.
Somebody said, I don't know why people pay for this. It's easy to do, especially in a flat door.
Aye,
so it's easy to do, so why they got to you?
Aye, go and date then, I mean, they're welcome to do it.
You're nothing but a turncoat. You used to be a Celtic fan all throughout primary. You only started supporting Rangers so you could dye your hair blonde like Gaza.
Did somebody say that to me?
Aye.
Fuck off.
Explain yourself.
I didn't I've never been a Celtic fan.
I made that one up, man.
Did you? I'm not out there. I thought we were talking about you.
No, yours are a bit more.
Oh, yours are cutthroat.
A bit more brutal. No, I mean, his is all about business because you don't take yourself too serious, know what I mean? So somebody said to you, like, dude, you look like you've been told you're not allowed near schools. And the ironic thing is, you go into schools to help Wayne's get into wrestling, you know what I mean? So...
Yeah, you're not allowed near schools.
Well, no, that's a bit away. That's a bit away with the first time to go, isn't it? Fucking hell, man.
No, but it's ironic because you go into schools.
No, I've actually had hundreds of schools message me since that, man.
Because you replied back to that, do you know what I mean? So I don't get why people throw negative shit at...
You'll love it, you're loving it, but man, the more they comment on it, the more it's pushing you out there. You're getting them replies and you're not giving a fuck.
Somebody said, nobody understands or cares what you're saying. He's got 130,000
people.
130,000 followers.
I didn't realise.
That's what I mean. I've got 50 on the back. I've got 57,000 on
I said to him earlier on.
I've got $250,000.
I didn't realise you had backup accounts with different things. I'm sitting going like, that's his account with like 50,000 on it. I was like, that's good, man. That's good. And then he sent me your account. I was like, 100 odd, over 100. I was like, mate, that's class.
So that's what I'm saying. So
nobody cares what you've got to say, but you've got that many followers on multiple accounts.
So I've got about 5 TikTok accounts. You add them up. There's 200,000 followers on, and obviously all of them will not be like, see the 132,000 I've got on my main account, no all of them will be the 50,000 on the backup, know what I mean? It'll probably, I'd actually be lucky even if it's 25k each, know what I mean? Honestly, I'd say they're probably two different separate entities, because there's a lot of people that follow me just in my account and they'll say to me, because a lot of people see, because they follow me in the Ravie Davie account and they're like, why you been, how you not doing TikTok? And I was like, I'm still doing it, it's just my backup you're following me.
How come you need to have the backup accounts?
Right, so I'll tell you why, I'll tell you the full story. This is actually big on TikTok anyway. So with TikTok, as I said back when I was telling you about the posting the old videos and that, I started going, right, I've got something today here, but I just need to start doing funny videos and that. But then people would leave the hate comments and I could reply back and I was like, this is something.
So that's where I was going with that. Does it not bother you, the hate comments? Because some of it's brutal, the shit you get, know what I mean?
I seen somebody say, shut, you wrestle Wayne's for a living, shut up or something.
Aye, but what they don't understand, what you're doing, you're getting back to the community. There's no wrestling classes out there apart from your own.
Put it this way, right? I made a full-time living by getting it. On Saturday there, the Saturday before, I was hitting 12 to 15-year-olds with RKOs to teach them how to do RKOs, and I was getting paid for that. If you want to actually honestly tell me that is a bad way to make a living, sound me. I'll keep enjoying myself and teaching all these ways how to be wrestlers.
You said to me in the
morning. To be fair,
morning.
no, but see, obviously with the wrestling school and all. Obviously I want to create wrestlers, but see before I build wrestlers, I'm building confidence and with all these Waynes. A lot of these Waynes are shy and...
I seen some of it and you like see doing the entrances and all that with them rather than just shouting. It's like you see ones and they're quite shy. He was a wee boy, you must have been, he was about that size, wee skinny guy, man. He's a wee walking in, but he's got the swagger and all that.
Loving it.
Man, it's like you can just see, I'd have loved that when I was younger.
Oh, it'd been amazing.
There was a boy that hadn't left his house in months, you were saying, and he's no missed a class.
So the boy Caden never really gets suit, no, I think he used to get, I probably don't quite too much into detail, but he used to, well, obviously get a hard time in school and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So his parents took him out of school, obviously just like because they couldn't be bothered with him getting bullied and stuff like that. So they never really had it, and like he just likes his wrestling, he doesn't like football, doesn't like anything else. So there was nothing for him to do, you know what I mean? Obviously, and then I opened up the wrestling school, and he came to both of the open days. So the open days we had was just obviously people come down and see the ring and stuff like that, and then I would try and gauge how many people would want to come, know what I mean? Yeah. So with that, to gauge with that, I had over 50 people coming in like 2 days, and Caden came both days, not when he came to both days, even though I told him the first day, it's just going to be the same tomorrow. Obviously he's like, I'd come and done, know what I mean? I was like, it's fair dues. And then we opened the wrestling school, so we did it on Saturdays and Sundays, and in March there we opened up Wednesdays classes. Ever since, Caden's been at every single class. He's been at more 12 to 15-year-old classes than I have, because I've had to go on holidays and that sometimes. Not
as a parent, but that's what you want for your Wayne. So his parents must be like,
his mum Michelle, fair play.
She's doing for him than the schools are doing for him.
Well, his mum Michelle, she's done everything. She's always singing my praises, to be fair. Not I mean, she does give me all the credit that I probably don't deserve as much credit as she has.
You don't deserve it, but you've got to give yourself credit sometimes.
No, but fair enough. But obviously she's like. Fair enough. I mean, Caden got me a mad water boat the other day that said like Govan team and all that, and Dave, all that kind of stuff.
You can tell just the way you're talking about it, you've got a smile on your face. You obviously enjoy. I swear to God, you enjoy doing it for them, because
the school's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. You know what I mean? Like I actually, like so as you were saying like about jobs and that earlier, and that I was not. I mean, every time I've got a job, I always had this thing in my head. I'm grafting my arse off here. I'm getting paid a pure crap wage, and I'm making somebody to tap all the money. So it was always hard for me. It was always hard. No, I mean, it was always hard like that, right? And then also I've always felt like I should be a star, right? It's a bit cringy to say, you know what I mean? But I've always just felt like the spotlight should be on me. It was the class clown growing up in school. I was always
even on this. I've never been so quiet. Well, I've said never have a free podcast. You know what I mean? But this is the least I've talked.
It's good, but
I was always making jokes with my pals and stuff like that. Always like family parties, always up dancing. All they kind of just always felt like the spotlight's on me. And now, becoming a wrestler on TikTok and that, the spotlight is on me, but now I'm wanting to shine my spotlight onto all these Waynes and teach them how to just be themselves. No, I don't even obviously obviously I want them all to become wrestlers, but see if they just go and be able to have wee confident lives where they meet their own wee pal, they've got all these wee pals now and stuff like that, and they get socialised and just stuff that they maybe
building confidence, getting them off the streets.
Exactly, that's what it's all about. Obviously, if I get to turn them on to wrestlers and
loads of people, the thing is, but loads of Waynes go to like karate and all that. What's the difference?
Well, that's the thing. There's tons of karate classes. There's not a lot of wrestling classes. So
I guess in your
where is
people
it?
got
What's the
karate?
address?
The wrestling school, we are located in Park Villa Hub, 337 Langlands Road in Linthouse, Govan. It is adjacent to the Perry Park Primary School. So it used to actually be a Glasgow club gym. It used to be Glasgow Club de Ramon, and then it get bought over by Park Villa Hub.
Is there an age? A certain age group?
So we've got the wee troops. They are 5 to 11 years old. They've got the Maze Classics because that's the most popular group. They are Saturday 9 to 10:30. Then there's a second class for them that's 10:30 to 12. Then the 12 to 15-year-olds, they are my young team on a Saturday. They are 12 to 1:30, and then the adult class on the Saturday is 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. On the Saturday Sunday we start a wee bit later because Sunday service and stuff like that, people try to get there and that. So we start at 11 for the 5 to 11-year-olds, but we only have one class for them on the Sunday because obviously it is a shorter day. Then we have the 12 to 15-year-olds from 12 till 2 o'clock, and then we have the adult class at 2 o'clock again.
Is the idea to progress these boys boys and lassies as well, but is it the idea is they go through the age groups and then they go into your shows?
Obviously, fingers crossed. I would definitely. I've already got something that I'm planning to do with my kids, my 12 to 15-year-olds, on one of my shows in November, the big Govan show. I've got
Is that the two-day event?
No, that's in May, but I've got a big show, so I'll have my second year anniversary in November for the wrestling company.
Mate.
I'm going to have something with all the Waynes doing it, because one of our boys for the 15 to 16-year-old class, no, the 12 to 15-year-old class, actually turns 16 in November, and the boys, he's 15 years old and he's 6'5", know what I mean? So he is going to have a fantastic career ahead of him.
Right as me, man.
So that is what I think he's bigger than you, to be fair, man.
Come on, get him done, man.
So basically the idea is I've got a spot for him, but I can't just give him because he's old enough, but I can't give him a spot and then the rest of his class don't. So I've got a spot in my head where they all got to get involved in the show.
But it's a good thing with it.
But that's what I do. I want to have sorry for buttoning. That's my ADHD, but I'll forget if I don't. But the fight, obviously, I'd love to. It's a bit of an ass, but I've got some of the Waynes that are 5 years old in the 5 to 11-year-old class. It's probably a bit of an ass to expect them to be in my care for 5 years old all the way to 16. But there is 2 or 3 of them that I do think there's a wee guy, especially wee Oliver. I think he'll be there for 5 years old till he's a full-grown wrestler.
It's good for them as well, but because it's like they'll feel like, because it's one thing going to the classes, it's like, but knowing that there could be a progression to a Dana show when they're older, so rather than just go to the classes and you learn how to wrestle, then what you got to do with it.
They can see their wee pals getting in the ring, going to shows and all that. That's motivation to stick at it.
It's like the football academies, isn't it?
Exactly. Obviously with wrestling, there's no, the reason I started the wrestling school as well is, but I said in the companies, the mums and dads were all asking me, you get in for the Waynes, and I was like, there's no thing that gets happened. And if you're 5 years old and you want to go to football, gymnastics, dancing, MMA, boxing, there's something for everybody, you know what I mean? Well, maybe there's not an actual MMA class, but you can go to a karate or a jiu-jitsu, you can go to all that. There's something for everybody, even niche things like badminton or basketball, there's something for everybody. There's nothing for wrestling,
and they can all go to a competitive level as well, which you're basically doing for them.
With wrestling there was nothing, no a single thing, and I just except for maybe football, and even football like that. I don't actually think kids actually watch a lot of football. You know what I mean? I think they might like playing and stuff like that. But how many Waynes actually sit down and watch fucking?
I take my wee boy to a Celtic game now and again. He's too busy. He's watching the seagulls in the sky and all that.
But
it's a fucking game.
No, but that's what I'm
You know
saying.
the game to sit. You see guys at the game when they're sitting watching their phone. Know what I mean?
Bet you any money, but when you bring it to Mount Vernon for the wrestling show, I bet he's tuned into it. No, I mean that's the wrestling's there. No, I mean that's what I'm saying. There was never that thing for. So now I've got the wrestling school and all the Waynes come, they all love it, know what I mean? They all
get their own uniforms and all that.
No, I've not got that yet, but they all just buy Ravie Davie t-shirts, not like that, know what I mean? Which I didn't
sell the merch as well, innit?
I don't.
You're not even wearing the Ravie Davie t-shirt today,
I thought he was going to put me a leotard on. Come on.
But it's good for you as well, because it means that your shows, you can develop your show years in advance, because you can be like that, you can develop their wee characters, and then by the time it gets done, we go, right, that's you ready for it, and then that's pushing into your show.
Plus as well, I think there's a thing with the wrestling, right, like adults and that, right, so when they come in, they've all grew up not, so they're all that anxious and like, no saying they're all, but you know what I mean, like maybe they're not as confident stuff like that. Maybe they used to be and they've had it to them because they're worried about people hitting stuff like that. Wayne's don't, no, I mean, Wayne's don't care, no, I mean, Wayne's offending, they actually want to go and, so they've got the Ravie Davie mindset, no, I mean, they want to be the wee stars.
Your confidence is sky high.
Exactly.
You can tell just by talking to you, know what I mean?
Exactly, no, I mean, if you don't love yourself, if you don't
Get into Barbie Girl, I've seen that TikTok.
Well, that was because so my wee goddaughter, Millie, she started joining the school, but she's not even a big fan of wrestling, it's just her dad sent her down, like, get her doing something. But now, that's what I'm saying, but now, only Sundays, there's Millie, Amy, Salma, Liliana, sometimes we George, because there's like a group of wee lassies that come on a Sunday and they're all wee pals.
Women's wrestling's big now as well.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying, it's mental, whereas like, maybe even if they're not into wrestling, they'll come down. But so Millie loves the classes now, and she didn't go on Sunday and she was raging. You know what I mean? She'll turn up and she's like wearing a Cruella de Vil outfit, or you know what I mean? Like she's not, and then I'll be that day she didn't want to do her entrance. So I was like, right, I'll date with you, and she's like, no. I was like, why is it you know, like she's embarrassed. I was like, right, well, we'll do a silly entrance. We'll come out to Barbie Girl, so everybody's looking at me and nobody's paying attention. Not knowing about it, so nobody's looking. So I just obviously came out acting stupid. And then by the end, but she's on it and she's doing like wee cartwheels and stuff like that. No, I mean, she's actually like, this is enjoyable. No, I mean, and all the Waynes, if you watch the video, see all the boys that were all watching, like, they're on like actual stitches. The Waynes were actually like.
I love it.
Oh, it's one of my favourite videos I've ever done.
Just building their confidence, mate. I think that does a lot for them because, like, I came out I had no confidence when it came to like speaking or anything like that. I remember the first meeting I went into, I was pure sweating. It's like just if you've got that thing, I bet you could probably walk into a room, no ball, and you wouldn't care who's there and just do your thing.
No, definitely, no, just.
So it helps you, like, for getting employment and all that. Obviously, I know you weren't interested. Your thing was you wanted to be a wrestler, and that was it. Nothing was going to stop you, nothing stopped you, and that's what you've done. But there's a lot of people it's not going to work out like that for everybody doing wrestling, but at least they're going to come away with a life skill.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, they're going to be able to go into high-flying jobs and walk into big meeting rooms full of people, and they, like, even if they go to university or something like that, then their class talk.
Building confidence. I know
in uni they do something sort of class talks or anything like that, but
that's a bad word in this podcast.
No, but see, what you're saying,
but it gives them the confidence to walk in that room, do what they've got today, and then that's it. They're not, and it's all because of you.
Even that, but and all it doesn't just teach that as well. We're teaching obviously people to be able to defend themselves. And all people think, wrestling's fair, all this kind of stuff. But see, one of my boys, he's in my adult class, but he's like 17, know what I mean? And he started school and that, know what I mean? He's in obviously like 5th year or whatever. One of the boys has been building him for years, know what I mean? The boy that goes to my school just finally snapped, grabbed the boy, stopped him, he'd looked at he'd learnt in wrestling, know what I mean? Just kept him there, didn't obviously hurt him or anything like that.
But just enough to show
the boy
him.
tapped out, know what I mean? And he'll probably never annoy that boy again, know what I mean? Obviously the boy's mad, messaged me, know what, and she was actually thanking me. I was like, well, I've not taught him how to do the heat looks with King Boot, because I haven't, but no, I mean, but I've not taught him, like, yeah.
But it helps.
But I'm over, because that's one of the things we get, and all the amount of people that they give me the trolls go, why are you not teaching them something that, so they can't, but am I actually teaching them how to defend themselves? Not because a heat look, at the end of it, in wrestling, obviously we're not going to kill each other, but see, the moves, if you do them right, you can still...
you can still get hurt in wrestling. I know people say it is fake, but see, doing a backflip off a tap rope, trying to land on somebody, you get a lot of injuries. I know,
you can't get hurt. Tell that to my wee cousin Craig. It used to get dude all the time.
No, but to be fair, what you're saying there, it's always the stupid things, injury. You don't get injured with the backflips and stuff like that. You get injured with...
I can't get injured.
Drop toe hold or something like that. Know what I mean?
I seen that Kaz Mulligan saying to you, it's all fake and all that. What's happening with that? You gonna fight him or what?
He's not even.
It's a lot of shit.
He's just chasing clout. No, I mean, every time he doesn't get a wee bit of attention, he'll mention something.
See, if he was going to box someday, would it not make sense to box somebody that's got experience running an event, that's got a wrestling ring?
Probably not. Obviously, it wouldn't make sense for him to verse me, because then straight away his boxing career's done, because I'd beat him, obviously. No, but it would be, know what I mean?
If you want to put an event on, you need to learn for your mistakes, do you know what I mean?
Putting an event on can't be easy, right? So you've got the connections on events, where to do it. You've got everything you need to do it. You've got the knowledge, you know how to, like, dealing with the payments and all that, paying these guys to come and do it. It would make sense for you to do it, but I would get why you wouldn't be an undercard.
No, to be fair, I'm not like, obviously, because this is what I said first. See, once it all started, because this has been going on for 2 years, I mean, because since the very start, when it first happened, I wanted to box him for the same thing with the comedy thing, to get people to
Entertainment
watch,
at the end of the day, it's
but I wanted
entertainment.
people to watch the wrestling. So I was willing to date for nothing. All that kind of stuff was just what I wanted to do. Trying to get more eyes on the wrestling. So I'll do a boxing event which gets the eyes on the wrestling. But since then, it's been 2 years now. I've blew up on TikTok. I've now got a wrestling company. I've got a wrestling school. All these things that I need to put all my time into. So see, really genuinely, to be honest, if I was to actually box Kaz, it would need to be worth my time, because obviously if I want to do something like that, I'm going to need to take it seriously. I'm going to get proper training and all that.
You're going to ask for 10 grand up front and a contract.
I wouldn't ask for 10 grand. I wouldn't do that, but it would be something along there. Because you need to think about it. I'm going to so I'm not going to be able to promote. I'm not going to be able to go out and flyer all my shows and stuff like that.
Training.
So I'd be training all the time. Like, there's people saying, there's amateur boxers who go out and do their full time job. And that's fair enough, you know what I mean? But if I'm these people, the amateur boxers haven't went and built themselves up a following. Like, I know it sound, I can even think myself saying this and it sounds cringy, right? But I've built myself up a following for something that I do. So if somebody wants me to cross into something else, they need to pay me for it, because it could be risky for me. I'm no Kaz Milligan, you know what I mean? But if I'm not an undercard, for example, say of fighting somebody to promote, but if that person beats me, that's my stock. No, I mean, but genuinely,
yeah,
no, I mean,
cash out.
that's me. No, I mean, that means that's mean the Kaz fights don't do or not. No, I mean, so
at least if you do get beat, you've cashed out quick.
no, but like, so you need to hang about all these stuff. No, I'm not worried at all. No, I mean, but look, that's what I'm saying. But like, I would need to shop my school, all these kind of things. No, I mean, that's what I mean by why I'd want to train seriously. But obviously, I'd need to shop all my stuff so I could train seriously. So I'm not getting embarrassed. No, I mean, so I'm not getting beat, because I'm not a boxer. So as I'm saying as well, so it's an actual, but there's rules and regulations in boxing. I can't just
you'll need to learn all that and all.
So somebody could just go out and outpoint me. No, I mean, that's me. I've lost that fight, and then they've got the bragging rights on me. So I'd want to make sure that what I was doing is.
I think it would get a good crowd, mate.
I think it would be brilliant as well.
If you're selling out wrestling shows, mate, you're going to sell that out, innit?
I think it would be brilliant as well, but it's just there's too many egos involved in it, and me included. You know what I mean? And there's too many people that are clueless about it. Like, I feel like,
because it's big down south,
because they're all arguing with each other and they're all pure. Like, obviously I'm arguing with, but like, that Kaz and Mark, I think they two actually really don't like each other. I don't like.
For business sense, what you've all got is what you've got in businesses. The businesses you've got is class. Well done, well done to you. But to run a boxing event, would it not make sense for somebody that runs events? Because I've seen people commenting saying you don't have a clue how to run events. It takes a lot. I mean, you've got the experience, you've got the background, you've even got a ring. So would it not be better to team up with you, learn the experience, then they go to the next stage or whatever, know what I mean?
Well, that's obviously my point for the start, know what I mean? But I've always...
As an outsider, that's what I would think, I know what I mean?
Because even I was saying as well, I was saying to that Mark, to be fair, but I was saying, I'm not fighting on your undercard, but if you want, I'll host it and you can have my ring and stuff like that, know what I mean? I'll be like the Ant and Big 5-0, and you can be like the Ant and Deck hit it, know what I mean? We can
5-0 boys funny.
So we could do stuff like that, but obviously...
Be up for that?
No, I don't, that Mark was wanting the ring, that, to be fair, but I think that's what I'm saying. I think Kaz has put him off it, obviously, because that Kaz has talked about facts and figures, and
that would put me. I think it's again. I've seen Kaz said you've got 10 days to get a contract to, and I want 10 grand up front. If I was Mark, I'd be like, no.
Think about it, no, but obviously that Kaz is going to be saying he's getting 10 grand, so now at the minimum I want
15.
Well, because I'm bringing me to the table. No, I mean, even if they put me on the undercard,
I want to use your ring and all that.
If I was on the undercard, I'd still be the main event. No, I mean, because people would leave after my match was finished. So at the end of the day, they'd need to.
So it's not happening then. Do you think it's ever going to happen?
I don't think it's happening because it's not going to happen. No.
Do you think he's playing a heel, or do you think he is?
See, well, I've actually reached out through a middleman for Kaz to get into wrestling, to be fair, because I think he is a great heel.
Because when I'm watching it, I don't know if he is just genuinely playing a part, or he is just.
And that's
really good at marketing or promoting.
Do you know who he reminds me of? The Miz.
Aye.
No, I mean he's
that's what
Miz
he is.
Like, know what I mean? Like,
because you picture him coming out with a suit on and all that, and the sunglasses.
It'd be brilliant, to be fair, know what I mean? And obviously, that's what somebody needs to show him, like, how Logan Paul's doing the wrestling. I think if he was to see that,
he's smashing at that Logan Paul, isn't he, man?
He's
and that was somebody had a lot of hate. People
I used to hate him, maybe fair, but he's one of my favourite wrestlers.
See that thing they done at WrestleMania when they jump across?
They smacked the Royal Rumble with two and smashed in each him and Ricochet. That was good.
That was unreal, man.
That was
dynamite. You could do that.
I'm trying to. So that's why the reason I've lost all my weight, because I want to do it at my title tournament or something. I want to do an idea for it. I want to do it with somebody at the title tournament.
See, even doing that and also you're organising the fights and all that, so you need to figure out who's going to win it and do all that. Is that hard?
Well, because it is hard, right? Because obviously, right,
you want to win every fight.
No,
getting better.
No. Right, so this sounds perfect. I don't want to win every fight, right? But so that's the problem. I don't want to win every fight, right? But who's everybody there to see?
Aye.
They're ready to see me, right? No, I mean, obviously they're ready to see other people and stuff like that, right? But they sell it because obviously the TikTok and all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't want to win all the time.
But you've got to get the fans.
But I need to, so I need to like build. I need to try and I need to build up all the other wrestlers to get to a level so that then I can maybe start.
Are they on TikTok or the other wrestlers that's on behind me? Get them on TikTok, man.
It's talking to a brick wall.
Surely that's exactly where they should be. But man, for years the wrestling was always there's like promos.
I know, mate.
It's that's a personal brand that you've did.
I know that's thing. There's too much. He was like, see if you done a promo with some, see if you done a promo on somebody on wrestling on TikTok, they think you're being serious, and but they would, you know what I mean? And then they'd go and bitch about you other pals instead of doing a promo backing you and having new people, somebody a promoter going, oh, but these two guys don't like
that's
each
the thing, but it's like you want a lot of the time you do want people to think you're being serious.
Exactly. That's what I see. That I was actually.
That's like the Undertaker for years never broke. He never done interviews. He was the Undertaker, and that was him.
I was raging about it all day because this guy down in England has made himself the top heel doing in English wrestling by this food that he's done with a guy, right? But the guy in a match that they had at the weekend there hurt himself. So after the match, this guy's went and put on Instagram like, oh, for the last thing we know that I've been wrestling this guy and we've been at each other's throats, but I've got so much. He injured himself in the match, and I have so much respect for him. Thank you for making my career and all that. And I was like, you've just ruined it on now. You know what I mean? But putting a post picture of two of them sitting next to each other, where this guy's getting his legs seen, and you're like.
I seen that Rey Mysterio's fighting with his boy, or he was fighting with his boy, and I seen the boy get fined because he came out a character one day or something in a shop, and he had his dad's t-shirt on, Rey Mysterio. Is that his boy he's fighting with?
Dominic, yeah.
Is that his boy? They're supposed to hate each other or something?
I don't remember seeing that myself, to be fair.
They're supposed to hate each other, and I seen all
that. Doesn't watch wrestling?
No. He had a Rey Mysterio t-shirt on in a shop, and apparently get fined because he broke his character a wee bit. He's supposed to hate his dad, but he's promoting his dad's.
I don't know. I don't think it is like that as much anymore. Maybe if you've seen that, then I'm not going to call it that.
It used to be, man. I think since they went to saying they were entertainment, they didn't have to date as much because people were very aware that you're putting on a persona. But you see it on TikTok all the time. I seen somebody the other day and he was done a sketch and he was kidding on that Nando's was this wee secret place that he found, and people were all writing on the comments like, that's Nando's, mate. And then he done one with Starbucks, and people didn't get that he was winding them up. You could do that. It was like, so if you went out there and played a heel the now and you went on to TikTok,
never in a million years,
you'd get hate.
Never in a million years,
you'd get proper hate.
I've been a heel before. I'll never do it again, mate.
Nah.
Horrible.
What is the plans for the future then? Have you got a 5-year plan or anything? Have you?
I want to try and get wrestling on the telly. I'd like to get my wrestling company on the telly.
Seen you at the BBC doing it, your thing that
it was just a BBC social documentary thing, just like be a wee 5 minute thing.
Playing it down, know what I mean?
No, genuinely, I would.
So that's a goal, get on the telly.
I mean, you can't promote stuff by keeping it secret. If it wasn't just a BBC social thing, I'd be telling you straight away.
Where would you not play a heel? Where would you not play a heel again?
Because when I went a heel, because obviously I take my wrestling serious. So when I went a heel, through the last time I was in wrestling, I stopped making all my funny videos and stuff like that because I wanted to take it seriously and stuff like that, and I just didn't enjoy it. I wasn't enjoying myself, you know what I mean? Because obviously I wasn't being myself. I had to be somebody that I don't feel like I'm. It's not really. I don't like having to like tell Waynes and all that to fuck off and stuff like that. And like, oh, you know, I'm not getting a picture because that's thinking, if I'm a bad guy and all, like, if you ask to get a picture of me, I'm going to go that to you. No,
it's not happening.
I'm a bad guy.
You've worked so hard to build.
So, I'd rather just stay a good guy, you know what I mean? I remember it happened when Grado turned heel for a bit. He was pure flatting because it was me and him against each other. Like, I was the face, not, and he was like flatting over and not. I was like, what's up, not? But now I pure realise, you know what I mean? Especially when you work so hard to do something like this. And
what's the most people you've wrestled in front of?
6,000 at Hydro.
Sorry, who did you wrestle there?
It was in a ladder match. It was me, Bram, Joe Hendry, Jody Fleisch, and two guys.
Do you get nervous before you go out?
No, mate, I really don't. I always, there's a thing that
people scared you go and hurt yourself, man, and you can't work.
Nah.
Or would you just go and do your
wrestling? But you can hurt yourself in any job.
It's not something to worry about, but I mean,
I know, but see, when you've been self-employed, man, it's like one of my pals plays 5-a-side.
But I think if you worry
about, get injured and they couldn't go to work for a week, he's like, I've just lost a week's wage for a game of 5-a-side.
But I think if you worry about stuff, I mean, let's see all the
never do it. If that's what we're talking about.
Not even that. I think if you do worry, like, you're more likely to if I go out there worrying I'm going to injure myself, I probably isn't like I'm
Got
going
to
to
do a
injure myself.
backflip if you're hesitant.
Whereas if I just go out there and go all guns blazing and do my stuff, then
Suppose if it's your own event as well, but it helps, doesn't it? Because you don't need to worry about the finances and where your next wage is going to come from, because you're like, you just turn up to your own show in crutches or something anyway.
no, I definitely.
Spoke about Grado there, so see, like, he's obviously doing well for himself. Do you're still pals, obviously, so do you like ask him for advice and how he got on the telly and things like that? Is that
Aye, so Grado, ever since I became a wrestler, he's the reason I got into wrestling, to be
he used
fair.
to after you, ain't he? What his bad videos,
I
man?
seen Grado in the documentary that happened, and I seen him always saying, you know what I mean, when I seen him I was like, aye, right, he's the best. He's fatter than me and I'm funnier than him. If he can do it, if he can do the best, I can be the best.
Aye.
And to be fair, the two are probably the same size and he's definitely funnier than me. But to be fair, I became the second most popular wrestler in Scotland, probably most popular beside Grado, you know what I mean? So I wasn't exactly wrong, was I not? I mean, I did say that, obviously. But Grado, so I always remember as well, the day before I started my wrestling training, there was a show in Govan, in the PI, Pierce Institute, and Grado was on it. So I went down, took my wrestling sign and all that, know what I mean? Paid my price to get in, paid the $5 like a half time for his Grado, right? And I was showing up, talking to him, I was like, mate, I'm starting wrestling training tomorrow. And he's like, oh, class, no, I mean, I was like, I tell you this right now, one day me and you have got a team together, got to be a tag team, we've got to be called Degeneration Gregs, and he was pure laughing, no, he's like, no, if I steal it and use it with somebody else before it, no, I mean, obviously, but
You fucking done it, didn't you?
and I was like, I swear to you, mate, I promise that I'm going to be a wrestler, no, I'm going to be good, no, and he's like, right, boy. And then obviously last year in July, obviously mentioned ICW, this was my last appearance with ICW, it was me and Grado teaming in the O2 Academy and the Gorbals in front of...
Did they remember you?
Well, I know, like, that's what I'm saying, I always remembered that, like, I messaged him and that and all, that I went him at night on his personal Facebook account, you know what I mean? And obviously I sent a message there, like, me and him in the picture, and like, Degeneration Gregs, big man, Degeneration Gregs.
That's a good story, you know what I mean? That if you want something hard enough, work your balls off.
That manifesting thing, I do actually kind of believe it. No, I mean, anytime I used to tell my pals it's got to be a wrestler. They all used to laugh when I became a wrestler. I mean, told people I was always got to start wrestling. Told people I was got to start wrestling school. No, especially during lockdown, I was like, oh, my wrestling pals, and all that. I was like, we're going to come through this, and I'll have a company, you know, and they'll put all the boys on the show and all that. And no, I did that. No, I mean, that's what I did.
It's a good story. So if everybody listening to this, they'll see how you started. It wasn't the easiest to start. So you went through a difficult time, but you stuck to your guns. You were consistent. You've got your wrestling skill. You're a pro wrestler, and you're doing big events, mate. So
I'm you're doing it full time.
Fair
Like,
play,
people
know what I
forget
mean?
that's like you're self-employed. That's
I'm a full-time wrestler.
But you could have gave in earlier. You could have been in the jail, you know what I mean? If you kept going the way you were, know what I mean, mate? So
either that or deed. Well, that's what the teachers used to always tell me. So they always tell me by the time I was 16, I'd either be dead in jail or a junkie, you know what I mean? And I am none of the things. So, Mr. Mullen, get up. You
last week it was a different teacher. We said that to you,
no, the thing is, but it's good to know that the education are fucking standing by us on helping us, know what I mean, encouraging us. That's another person with a story like that. It's like these teachers should be held accountable. It's like they shouldn't be allowed to write you up. They shouldn't be allowed to say stuff like that to you, because as you said, like, you manifest it. If somebody tells you that enough, or you're going to be a junkie, or you'll be a downer, you'll know ever amount to it, and you start going, well, what's the point?
Aye, like, what's the point? Everybody knew, everybody always said it anyway, so you'll know exactly.
Aye, how many times do you hear, how many people do you know that was, what's the point? Know what I mean? There's no jobs, there's no this. You've been out and created a job for yourself.
Aye, and the whole fucking create jobs for other people, no, eventually, know what I mean? That's what I'd like to.
I think, mate, see, like, I'm big on marketing. Like, I love marketing. Like, growing, I thought I was great growing a fucking account to 10,000. Know what I mean?
That's what you see with the Rotten Food Reviews, mate. I got that one day.
Did you? Aye.
So that's how I was. Yeah, we've been on so many times. I've not finished. I don't think I finished one story to be fairly exact. But how the TikTok actually got big, right? Is why I've got the backup accounts is. So obviously I'd been making all the slotting the trolls back, right? I'd been slotting all them back, like, and all that. But then they wouldn't like it. They wouldn't take it, and they'd fucking report me, and I'd get banned and all that. So eventually I was like, they told me I'd get one strike left. And so I was like, I need my back account. But I didn't have. They told me I'll get a 30-day ban or something like that. They kept saying if I get banned and all that, we've got to take your account off. So I was like, I'm naming it a backup account. So I made a backup account, and then I was just posting me videos. I only got like 1,000 or something on that until my other video got unbanned. But then when that got unbanned, I was like, right, I need to stop doing the slot on people videos because I'm going to get banned. I don't want to do that. So I need to come up with an idea. So what can I do? So I went and done some investigating through TikTok. So I was like, people like me slaughtering people, so I need to keep acting, right? Then what else do people like? People were mad for I was in the food reviews, but I was still people were doing.
See, this is just all self-talk.
This is trial and error. Just me doing stuff. I just be
name on top.
And so I seen like, obviously normal food reviews were going good, so people were doing them, and then also it was at a time when Gordon Ramsay was duetting people's foods and he was pure slaughtering. So I was like, can I put them all together? Can I get food reviews, but it's no me saying, oh, this free munch I've been getting's fucking lovely, so I get another free munch. It's like, can I find places that are actually shite and tell them they're shite, know what I mean?
Did you not feel a wee bit bad that you might ruin some of these guys' companies, or was that a case of be better and you'll not get a rotten food review?
Aye, like, if not genuinely, but like, why should you? Like, if my wrestling's shite,
you get sorted.
I would expect somebody to sort.
All feedback's good and bad, because you get bad feedback, you can work on it.
But that's the thing, but people were saying is, oh, you're ruining businesses. No, like, how would you like it if something done at your wrestling? It's like, if my wrestling company's doing shit, I hope fucking people do come and tell me shit, because I don't want to ever be fucking blown to what
you can improve.
But that's what. But also, if I go to somewhere that's recommended that people say it's nice, but I like it, I want to say,
be honest.
I'm not trying to be. I'm not a dick. No, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. I actually I've stopped doing the rotten food reviews for a couple of reasons. Obviously, I'm trying to eat healthy and all that stuff. But obviously, it is a lot. Like, I know that I feel bad about it, but it's like, it's just a lot of hassle. Because people can have vendettas, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Also, people can send me somewhere. Like, that's one of the reasons I stopped doing. The last two places I've been sent were nice. Somebody said go there and go there, and the videos don't. And you just don't feel like it's a waste of time.
Because I give them a bad review for the sake of
I'm
content.
I'm not going to say aye, and then like, so you end up getting a heaven, and then people are like, oh, you shouldn't have went to that place. It's nice. It's like, well, somebody told me it was shite, and I fucking fell for it.
You don't get anybody when you go in to buy something, but they're like, oh fuck,
hold on
a minute. What you up to?
I think I wait a lot longer now. For food, no, I mean, I think I'm getting fresh.
Because they're making sure you're getting a good experience.
But that's what I'm saying. So because of that, I'm going to put them all together, right? And then as the night I came up with the idea, I get banned off my main account. So I was like, when I rage, I was fucking.
You would be, because it's hard to build.
I was in a tuner, I was like, fucking bastards. No, they didn't give me a full ban, but I was banned for like 30 days, so I couldn't post 30 days. I was like, fuck it, I'm doing
That's affecting your business, but
I'm doing the rotten food reviews right now. I didn't have the business then to be fair, but this was just it. I was like, I'm doing the rotten food reviews, I'm doing it right. I went right down to Best Kebab, filmed the video, right? Done it, obviously, whatever, posted it, just went on TikTok live, right? To tell people I posted the video and all that. I came after the TikTok live an hour later. The video was up to like 100,000 views in
that's mad,
less than 3 hours, know what I mean? So I went to my bed and I woke up and I had like 600,000 views. I was like, whoa, man.
Just blew up,
this
man.
Is mad. And then obviously because I filmed my rotten food review every week, 2 a week, know what I mean, for the first series anyway.
Once I get sick of eating it, but man, because you're going there to have your dinner somewhere pure shite.
No, obviously I was making sure. Obviously I wasn't eating the full munch, you know what I mean? So I was just going and getting something.
Getting a bit thrown in the bin.
I was just biting.
I think, mate, it's like.
That is mainly why I've got so many backup accounts, because then obviously at one point I was trying to post like 4 videos a day on each of the accounts, not they're all getting banned or all that. No, it's just getting too much work from
hard work keeping up with it. I know guys that are spending thousands a month on getting people to come in and do their marketing for them, and they still only go so many, nowhere near what you've got, and you're like, 10,000 a day, easy. It's like, mate, that's all self-taught, man. There's companies.
Well, I watched that Gary Vee and all that, and so I post 4 times a day on TikTok because I seen that Gary Vee saying it, and I just seen, well, he's fucking doing no bad for himself.
Do you think, like,
but I don't sit and watch, like, so it's not like, it's still a self-talk, because obviously I just seen him on a day saying that on a TikTok one day.
That's still self-talk.
I'm not pure. I'm not sitting
YouTube.
watching YouTube videos for fucking hours.
If you get any tips for anybody, like, so for instance, like tips for me, I'm saying anybody, I want the tips, right? So I've got my account, right, and it's only 10,000. I was chuffed with that. Is there any tips for me to grow that to what your thing would?
The posting 4 things a day works. Always
is
makes
there times to post, or is it just a case of just posting?
The algorithm's changed now, so I'm trying to figure it out again. So this is, I'll give you the advice that I gave you when I was starting, but it's now changed. So I'd post 4 times a day. I'd always post when it's a peak time, so I always have one at lunchtime, and I'll date, because my content's a bit different, I'll date at lunchtime for the schools. Know what I mean? But you'd probably maybe want to more day at lunchtime for work, so I'm doing it at 12, but you'd probably want to post
figure out your target
audience.
1.5.
Then post straight after school, know what I mean? Post when it's dinner time, and then post when people are sitting doing that scroll before bed. Know what I mean? That's my 4 posts. Obviously, there's nothing you don't need, you can post more. Not like if I'm doing arguing with people, all that kind of stuff. I'm not just arguing, but if I'm like replying to questions and stuff like that. Not even trolls, but I'm just replying to questions and stuff like that.
Replying to questions is brilliant for me. I get more. I spent all day doing a video on showing a before and after, right? And I was like, this is brilliant. It was like me driving to the job, getting the big Kingway, and it got a couple of thousand views. And I was like, that's good. And then I replied to somebody's question that got 16,000 views like that. And I was like,
that's me and Big 5 will say this all the time. See the videos that you do all the effort into, just straight away put that down to it's not going to do good. I don't know why, right? But any of the videos that I've ever done that takes me hours or ages, and I'm pure proud of them. And it's like, scrub your belter. They bomb. See any video that I post a video, don't even think about it. Put my phone away for 2 hours because I'm doing something like that, and I come back. My phone's going to blow right up, man, like mental, just because I don't know why. I feel like social media doesn't like treat hard work the same as other but no, so the advice I would say, so the posted times, I used to say post 5 hashtags, but they changed that now. It's like 3 hashtags they care about, and always do hashtags that are, well, I would always, so kitchen wraps, so maybe I'd have a kitchen wraps Glasgow hashtag, because that's just specific, then that'll specifically be yours, so you do the full one, but then obviously like kitchen wraps, and then like maybe Glasgow or like kitchen wraps and something else. No, kitchen. I just whatever. More about the videos about than what's in it, because obviously, if you're, I would always put your kitchen wraps one because that's new you. But let's say you're not actually doing a kitchen wrap video, you're just doing like answering another question about your life. Not I would even do stuff like that.
I see. I don't put so.
You don't need to be about your life, not per se, but just say, "Oh, I'm going to do a wee Q&A today." It's not just about the kitchen. It's
so
about
do you think putting your because I keep my personal life quite out it. Do you think putting your personal life into it is a benefit? Like,
well, think about who became all the celebrities for the 2000s and the 2010s. It was all the reality TV stars. Why? Because they're letting you into their life and people want to see it.
You want to know who you are as a person.
That's why I think I'm also popular as well, because I peek right behind the curtains. Not my missus end up popular on TikTok because she also posts now because
I watch her videos enough.
No, see all these different things. I think it's because we've peeled the curtain right back. That's why people like it, because then
people can relate, can't they?
They can relate. We're just like, the way I see it now is obviously my character Ravie Davie. I'm a Ravie Davie. Obviously it's not just a wrestling character, but that's just who I am. And because of that, like people feel that it's authentic. It's like, plus also not everybody knows like a Ravie Davie, but like there's all that. Everybody's got somebody for their scheme. Let's just let's be lovable. It's always up to something. He's got good part. He's always up for a laugh. All that. So I feel like I'm relatable through that instance as well. Like, so people see me on the screen, even if they don't know me, they feel like they know me. There's something you were saying as well about all these people know me. Like last week I was on a train coming home and a guy walked up to me and he was like pointing at me and he's like, "Shooting it, no."
You love all that, but
no, usually I do, man. But then this guy ended up like patting me, he'd like petting me the chin like a dog, and I was on the train. He's like stood up and I'm sitting down. And I was like, "He's heavy, took me for a after here." But what can I do? You know what I mean? Like, because he's no, but like he doesn't.
For all you know, somebody's recording it. He's trying to get her eyes out.
But it wasn't even. Like, I could just tell with that they was just
patting you in the head.
But he was thinking he was being sound. No, I mean, he was just thinking.
Go up to somebody in the bus and did that. What are you doing?
It was like the chin, man. It was like, then patted me in the head and then he started walking. I was like, pure.
Imagine if I didn't know who you were.
That's what I'm saying. Would have been thrown on, would they know who I was?
Have you not had any companies approach you or anything like that to go, right, take my social media to try and get to help grow their accounts?
No, they've never. I think it's one of the ones. It's because I'm a bit rough around the edges.
I thought the one at Govan when you were dressed as a Celtic, was it the Celtic leotard and your pal had
some balls to do that. Anyway, man.
Well, I get paid. They put that person paid me, to be fair.
That's what he's talking about. So there's no companies want to pay you, go and promote my business and all that. That was a bit nuts.
There's some people that do, like, there's people that want me to come and do food reviews and all that. I say to them, but it's like, I've built a brand on being truthful, so if I'm coming out and I don't like it,
they should be confident enough. But
no, I know. They want to give me it for free, and I'm like, I'm not just going to be nice, but because it's a free meal, you know what I mean? Like, I need to
be honest.
It's like, if anything, you'd need to pay me if you want me, like, and I wouldn't even feel good about it. No, if you want me,
you've got to make a living somehow, mate.
So I don't know, but all this stuff will pay out. Like, I think it was, I don't know if maybe Joe Rogan or something, but somebody said that every advertisement that you knock back at the start when you're starting out, you'll make triple or quadruple that.
Do you see it? Because that's where I see it going. I feel, obviously, you've got your own vision for your own company, right? But I feel like the marketing side of things, man, it's like, even just to get you to come in and advise, and just like, so for instance, like us to come in and go, right, this is what you're doing, you're own jobs, this is what you should be doing. And then you don't even, obviously, you wouldn't even be the face on the camera, but just to, like, David that works for me, he's the kind that, like, he's dead like you, like, two of you would bounce off each other. It's like, we'll need to get him down to your wrestling school, man, because he would be good at it. But he's like ADHD and all, and I feel like you coming in and helping somebody like him, obviously you get paid for it, like, but I feel like you could do a lot for companies' marketing rather than you go to some of these marketing agencies and it's like they want to come in, they want to be very polished and very fresh, and people clearly don't want to see that. Like, half my TikToks is me swearing and all that now, and it's like, at first I was like, didn't want to swear, but now people are like, people are happy with it. When I go to people's houses, I can be me.
Exactly.
I don't need to go out to jobs and be all that hoity-toity, like, and
proper
be
and posh. I bet depends on your
Because
target
that's
audience
because
is,
they already know who you are because they're seeing you on TikTok, and that's why. So now think about it and all. Let's see you're like pricing jobs or something like you're getting work done. You usually want to meet the person first. But these people have already felt they met you. That's one thing as well. That's why I would recommend just you don't need to let them know. Obviously I let people know my deepest, darkest secrets because it's not really a fucking secret, but you know what I mean? You don't need to let them write in, but like,
I was on holiday with you know what I mean? That's what I feel like. I watched you on holiday.
No, that's why I think that's why that guy was comfortable to pat me. You know what I mean? Because like people do think, see, I feel bad about it. See, the amount of people that obviously like, come up to me and like, what's happening, mate? No, and I'm like, alright, and I'm like, they're like, start talking like, there's a like, I've been pals all life, and I'm like, mate, I'm like, I know you, mate. I feel like I'm being a dick, but it's not. You should come up and introduce, but they obviously just feel like because they watch me every day, I should know who they are anyway. You know what I mean? I'm like, mate, because that actually happened to us one time. My boy took the nip on TikTok because they said that he said hi to me walking by him in the street. But obviously when I'm at Flan, I have my headphones in, so I must have, mate, I don't know.
He walked by him.
But he went and unfollowed me on TikTok. You know what I mean? And I was like, mate, come on. You know what I mean? Then I ended up saying to him, I was like, if you come to one of my shows, I will come and meet you, know, even but you don't even need to buy a ticket, but come to the venue when I'm setting up and I'll come out and meet you outside. I'm not even trying to make money out of you. I'm just like, I'm not a dick, mate. Just sometimes stuff happens when I'm on the
Davey, I know you're on a tangent. You're going on telling a story there, but I'm getting waved there. That's us. We're going to have to wrap it up for the day.
No problem.
But is there anything you want to say to anybody that maybe wants to come to one of your shows or anything?
I would just say follow Community Pro Wrestling on Facebook and on Instagram, and give me a follow, Ravie Davie, the Fresh Prince of the Ramon Square on Facebook, Ravie Davie _1 on Instagram, Ravie Davie the Fresh Prince on TikTok. You can definitely tell I don't have an agent or anybody that's a mentor because you get told to put all your social media the same so you're easy to find. All my handles are absolutely different because I'm a fucking stoter. But anyway, come along to the shows, even if you're not into wrestling. See, this is an actual thing. See, if you used to like wrestling when you were younger, but then you grew up and you found out it wasn't real per se, and then it was the exact same as Santa. You hated it because you got lied to and you felt betrayed, so you went to everybody else it was fake, just like you told everybody Santa wasn't real. And then you've never gave wrestling a chance again, but you gave Santa a chance because obviously see all your wee cousins are like Santa, so you'll kid on that Santa's real. But you know want to be wrestling, right? Come to a wrestling show and I bet you any money you actually do still like it, but you just have never gave it a chance again. I promise you, right? That's my theory on wrestling. So call like one of my wrestling shows and you like wrestling again. Also, if anybody's interested in wrestling or has a kid or anybody in their family's interested in wrestling, we run the wrestling school. Hit me up on social media and I'll give you all the details for that. Lessons are £10 for a session or $15 for two in the one weekend. It's pay as you go. We don't want subscriptions or anything like that because I've got away and I know how hard it can be where you're subscribed to something for a month. Your Wayne's got 4 parties in that month, doesn't go once on, and you've spent 40 quid in your lap. It might even send them a thing for nothing. So we don't do that. We're pay as you go. So Community Pro Wrestling is the name. I'm trying to build a community. I feel like I've built a community, so come along and join the community, and that's what's happening, troops. Also, if you need your house clean, go to Al Scrubs, and if you need your kitchen wrapped, go to Kitchen Wraps Glasgow, and that's what's happening, troops.
Cheers, mate.
Good
Thanks
man.
a lot for coming, big man. Good to have you.
Some man. Cheers, mate.